Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our True Self Talk. It is wonderful to have you guys here live. I must say, I miss you. Going from 3, 4 live talks a week to just one a month, plus the lectures and workshops with the Sacred Self-Healing community. Yeah, that is a change for me as well. And this morning I thought maybe we should do a monthly Q&A, questions and answers, better understanding our journey. There are so many questions that are coming from you that have already been covered by me in lectures and workshops in the past. And so when we do a Q&A, I can point you at this. I think that's what we should do. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. All right. We just need to have enough questions together to make it worthwhile here to meet up and spend an hour together or longer. Yeah, so my name is Jona Bryndis. You all know me. I'm an energy healer, coach, and therapist, and we have this monthly Connect with Your True Self energy healing session for everybody. And this is the 12th year, by the way, that I'm doing this. I can't believe that time has gone by so fast. We've had almost 100 people here in this session. And Cindy, say hi to the audience, co-facilitated the field with me. We were connected live during the session and exchanged our energy readings. So
hello, everybody.
Hi, Cindy. Yeah, so we will also resort to your perspective here, maybe when we have questions. So yeah, let's get straight to the session without any further ado, guys. This was a tricky session. This was a tricky connection. Something happened here, especially in comparison with our last month's session. If you weren't there, that's okay. I mean, there's a video recording of it. We talked about how to feel our true self last month, and it was a beautiful sharing. And here we are, yeah, not quite a month later. It's earlier this month because I wanted to take advantage of the new moon energies that are almost over now and the intensities here of these cosmic energies hitting our earth. This is always a time where things get magnified, where things sort of being forced to come forward. And as a true self, those are times where we want to pay special attention. Why? Because everything that stays sort of in the foggy area that we sort of just hush over, brush under the rug, or sugarcoat to ourselves in our daily lives can no longer be hidden. So let me explain this a little bit. Last month I did talk about shadow clearing and the purpose of facing our own shadow. And the basic, concept behind, facing aspects of yourself that you don't love or that you can't really feel like they're you or that you reject is basically that you understand how this works, not just through you, but also through others. This month, we are dealing with the outer expression. It's a month where everything goes into the outer expression, which means you're going to see people, losing it left and right. Why? Because they do not know their shadows. They are falling, I don't want to say prey. It's not like the shadow is like an entity. Yeah? Your shadow isn't an entity per se, but it can pave the way for lower energies, darker energies to enter you, to dominate your way of feeling and thinking, especially about yourself. So this session, guys, was mostly a clearing session. This was all about, you know, weeding through what you think about yourself, what you hold in mind about who you are. And you can imagine that when you try to attune to your true self, yeah, with this beautiful invocation that we say at the beginning of the energy session, that there's stuff that will, well, start to speed up, start to resonate, but also start to contradict, all right, what it is that you are trying to attune yourself to. You're trying to align yourself to the eternal, unchanging part in you. That's what the true self is. It is something that is always there. It doesn't change with how much money you make or what degrees you have or what your neighbors think about you or how your children treat you, for that matter. By the way, happy Mother's Day to everybody here in those countries that are celebrating Mother's Day today. Yeah, so you are not, yeah, how other people see you. You are also not your thoughts. Okay, and that's a bit of a challenge right now because we have this huge intensity from the outside. We have all these distractive things everywhere. Yeah, we have change. We don't know what this change is all about yet, but we can feel it. We can feel it coming, and well, the sun is showing us her powers. She's flexing her muscles and letting us know how much of our climate is actually determined by her or him, depending on your language. So, what does all this do to us? How does this affect our relationship with truth and with that, our true self? There is something that we need to understand, that if we have a hard time connecting with this deeper, unchanging part within ourselves, let me just ask you guys real quick, who of you experienced this as an easy session, easy to connect with your true self? Nobody so far. Okay, who of you experienced it as a tricky session, a tricky 16 minutes to get to yourself? Okay, I'm glad that you are confirming this for us here because we were struggling, yeah, for 45 minutes and discussed the various ways of how to reconnect when we feel the connection or when we lose the connection with our true self. So I want to discuss this with you here in a few moments. But first I would like to, illuminate what it is that happens when we lose connection with our true self and how that relates to our overall relationship with truth. So there are several mechanics in energy work that the energetically sensitive or the person with higher senses can observe. And that is that our energy goes where our attention goes. Yeah. So whatever it is that we are holding in mind, holding in our hearts, holding in our attention is more or less becoming our reality. Now we already know that Yeah, everything is real, but not everything is true. So just because we feel something as real, we take something as real, doesn't mean it's true. And this is the purpose of any kind of inner connection or loving attention to it ourselves. We need to create something like a roadmap or like a focal point, like a 0 point that we can hone into, that we can always find. It's like the compass rose, like always knowing where you're at. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to have things figured out. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to have the whole range of emotions. But if you want to know what is true, and especially if you want to know what is true to you, you need to have a proper way of reconnecting with yourself. And when it is a time or when the situation is in such way that there are a lot of distractions around you. Yeah, these distractions just are. They're not causing anything, but they are there and they are affecting you. And as you are sort of paying more and more attention to what is going on around yourself, you are losing the ability to connect within. And it's normal that we go through these fluctuations throughout the day. Yeah, so we all know this. When you have a work life, during your work life, you tend to be less connected with yourself. And when you're at home and you're in your own safe environment and with the people that you choose, you can feel much more like yourself. We all know that. But there are some greater cycles, and they can pull us out of ourselves. I don't want to say permanently, but it's almost like you lose touch for a prolonged amount of time. This is what I am observing right now in general, that people lose the connection within. Okay, so this is the outer connection, the outer weather condition. Okay, that it is very, very easy right now to get distracted with all these uncertainties, all these phenomena of change around us, and especially with the intensities. So how can we withstand that? How can we withstand getting pulled out of ourselves too much? Well, we can build a regular routine that helps us to, just, I would say, connect with the fundamentals of who we are, and that would be our body. Some of you have, beautiful meditation routines, or even maybe exercise routines that help you to do that. If you don't have that yet, I would strongly recommend that you start them now. These intensities will continue to amp up throughout the year until the end of the year, November this year. So you really, really need to recognize that that is needed for you to not lose connection with yourself. When you are in a situation where you're challenged, let's say where you're not feeling safe, or where other people attack you maybe, or where you're just simply afraid of losing something, or you get pulled into your own fear, those are times when you need to double and triple up your routines. And for most of you guys, and this was clearly shown in this session, it is a connection with your body. You need to connect with your body. The fastest way to do that is to take deep breaths. This is extremely important, because as you're taking a deep breath, not only are you pumping more oxygen into your system, you're also refocusing your attention inwardly. And on a spiritual level, there are things going on when you do that. Yeah, when you take, deep, centered breaths through your belly, perhaps even with a little bit of a grounding and centering technique as I teach it in the I am breathing. All right, you are firing up all these inner connectors and your higher senses. Yeah. Why do you want to do that? Why do people like myself talk about these things all the time? Here is why. Because when you lose touch with yourself, we call it true self as the sort of the higher version of being in touch with yourself, yeah, including your higher senses. But losing touch with yourself can happen very easily just through, getting distracted by your own thoughts. When you lose touch with yourself, what happens is that you lose touch with truth. You get lost in your inner stories, in your inner narratives, things that are often related to the past, things that have to do with your fears, things that dominate your entire feeling for yourself. And what this leads to, what we could see here today, was self-doubt. Self-doubt and no longer knowing what is important to you, what is worth for you, what has meaning to you. If you lose this basic connection with yourself, you can get swept away by anything. And especially by things such as your inner assumptions, your inner judgments, the lower part of you, yeah, the lower vibratory questioning, the doubt, the anger. Watch it. Mark my words, guys. This time right now is extremely dangerous for this true self-connection of yours. If you reject your true self, if all you can think of is what you don't love about yourself and what you think other people don't like about yourself and project that to the outside world, you are in for a tough ride. People are losing it left and right. Watch it happen. Yeah? And be wise. Understand the process that is going on within them. It is the same process that could go on with you if you lose the connection with your true self. If you stay in touch with yourself. Yeah? First with your body, then with your thoughts, and lastly with your emotions, because your emotions are the ones that get you into trouble. They make you do or say things. But it's the thoughts that create those kind of energetic states. So body, thoughts, emotions, actions, that's typically how it goes. It is not that your emotions create your actions per se, but it is the thoughts that are feeding your emotions. So my tip for you, and the fastest way to get back into connection with yourself, is to basically push the reset button, yeah, even during your workday if you can. Take a deep breath, connect within, yeah, until you can feel something like your inner warmth again. And then watch your thoughts. Watch your thoughts, hear your thoughts, and ask yourself, is this truly me thinking this? Do I truly believe what I am thinking right now? Is this who I truly am? And if not, then you need to reset your thinking as well. Don't try to fight against it, just reset it. Go outside, look at the trees or the stars or the auroras, or, look at something outside of yourself, something that reminds you, of the greater picture, of the cosmic beauty that is out there, and align yourself to that. And in that moment, you will find out which part is you and which part isn't. Which of these stories that you're making up in your head are thought by yourself, actually, created by you, representing you, or which are coming from the outside. I see so many of you right now getting pulled into actual storylines where you're projecting your stuff onto others, and you think you know what they're thinking, and instead of asking them, hey, how do you feel about this? Is everything okay? Is there anything we need to talk about? You're making up a story, and then you react to the other person based on your internal story. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Is that something that sounds familiar to you? Yeah, this is very, very tricky. If we don't have a proper way of connecting with our true selves, that also means we don't have a proper way to connect with truth. And if we don't have a way that works for us to connect with truth, guys, then we can also not really connect with other people. So for you guys, who come to these sessions and who work on their inner true self connection, remember this: if you reject your true self relationship, your true self connection, it's no wonder you're having issues or difficult relationships with other true selves. Because whatever it is that you're paying attention to, that you're focusing on, is not based on truth. Let's say your assumptions are close to truth. All right, let's say you're a phenomenal energy reader. That doesn't mean that you're a mind reader, guys. Everything that is going on inside of you, the very same mechanisms that are going on in you, they're also going on in other people. So it is equally distracting and inhibiting for your inner connection to get lost in what other people think or feel. Just as getting lost in what you think or feel. So when it comes to the connection with other people, it's always about standing in this place where you are willing to listen, where you are willing to take everything from a neutral, non-judgmental point of view. Because if you are able to give that to someone else, then you can also give that to yourself. If you cannot give that to yourself, you cannot give that to others. And there you are. Now, one last piece here about what I observed in this session is that there's a lot of things in regards to your relationships right now that feel like you don't see a way out, or you feel trapped, or where you feel, well, you don't really know what to do because you are experiencing others as rude or selfish or entitled, or you tell me. What is it that you are feeling right now that other people do without regard, say for you? Go for it. Go for
Hi,
it.
Jona.
Hi.
I'm finding people are so self-absorbed at the moment, really inconsiderate and stuck, unable to, myself included.
100%. 100%. what I just talked about is exactly what is underneath that. All right. So when we lose ourselves, really what happens is that we basically get, it's like an obsession. Okay. Yeah. We get so focused on, what it is that makes or seemingly makes us lose ourselves, which is the outside, or we get so obsessed with holding on to something. Yeah, so it could be both. It's for most people right now, really something that is coming in from the outside that is pulling them out of themselves. And that creates this sort of, I don't know a better word right now than obsession, because it's a compulsive sort of running after or trying to hold on to something instead of just stopping and saying, okay, hang on a minute. I'm outside of myself. I'm not actually really in me right now. So I shouldn't be chasing something that is on the outside. I should do the opposite and go more in the inside. Maybe take more time for myself, or, just do this more often. We have this like weird pride that we think that there's something bad about, taking 5 minutes or 1 minute time out to just take a deep breath. We think it's a weakness when we do this, but really, guys, that's your higher awareness. That's your higher consciousness that wants to be felt. Yeah, there will be days where you need to do this more often, and it's totally okay. But we get so distracted by what others say, what others do, yeah, that we forget that this place of peace and calm and where we can feel safe is inside, yeah, is in here and not out there. So when we talk about other, us perceiving other people as selfish or self-absorbed, it sounds almost contradictory what I'm saying, but you got to understand that when someone is self-absorbed, they're actually not connected. Describe to me how you feel when you are fully connected. How do you feel? How does this feel in your body? How does this feel emotionally? How does this feel in your mind? How does this feel in your spirit when you're connected? Even if you're not connected right now, but maybe you can recall this feeling. How does this feel like when you're connected? Anybody?
Feel completely at with everybody. Feel,
Hang on, Emer. Hang on. Start over again.
oh,
You're breaking up a
sorry.
lot.
It feels like being completely at peace with everybody and everything, even people who at other times you could have felt epic rage towards or something. It just is the most lovely, peaceful feeling in the world, and you know that everything is going to be okay. That's what it feels like to me.
Beautiful. What does it feel like when we are in this frantic, self-absorbed state?
I'll just answer that too because I answered the other one. Just so for me, angry, bitter, twisted, just
Mm-hmm.
so like jealous, all these horrible low
Yeah.
vibe. Awful. It just feels so horrible.
And it happens with us, really knowing how to stop it, right? It's like a train that you're on, and that train seems to like run faster and faster and faster, where we get more and more resentful, more and more jealous, more and more this or that, angry, or, you know, sort of stuck. I think, Mandy, you called it earlier, stuck in it. Okay. That's when we're self-absorbed. We're absorbing all these negative sort of vibes that are around us. Yeah. And frantically somehow, you know, try to work with it instead of just saying, hang on a minute, that's not who I am. It's okay to be angry at times. It's okay to be jealous at times. It's okay to have these emotions. That's not the problem. But when we get stuck in them, when we have no means of saying, wait a minute, that is not who I am. I am not identifying with this. I have an emotion right now, fine. But I'm not going to allow my whole thinking world to be taken over by this. And I'm definitely not going to allow myself to make choices based on this right now. I'm not going to act this out. Do you understand the difference? There is a difference between having emotions, yeah, and feeding them with my attention, yeah, focusing on them and identifying with them and acting them out. The whole point of connecting with my true self is that I know who I am at all times, even when I'm angry. And there is such a beautiful liberation when you can say to yourself, dang, I'm angry right now. All I want to do is blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. But I'm not going to do it because that's not who I am. I know who I am. And I know what I stand for. I'm not able to express that right now. Okay. So what do I do instead? I go inward. And I allow myself to process that. Maybe take a walk in nature, take a nap. Don't underestimate the power of naps right now. That doesn't always have to be all big meditation, okay? In times like this, where we are subjected to extreme degrees of electrification, yeah, you calming down your nervous system by taking a nap, by saying a little prayer right before, is worth, 100 energy sessions, okay? Because you are actually allowing your own system to take care of you. Yeah, you're allowing your etheric and your astral body, yeah, to reset and to repair. Okay? So it is the ability to become aware of what kind of energy you're getting pulled into at a given moment that your true self allows you to feel. So many people have this issue with thinking it's not spiritual to have an angry thought. I don't know who told you this, but being angry or having an angry thought is part of our human condition. And sometimes this angry thought can actually help you to muster the energy needed, yeah, to bring about change, yeah, to step into courage. Anger in particular, because many spiritual people, okay, especially empaths, okay, judge anger. You're judging your own anger instead of listening to it. Yeah, there is something that really pisses you off right now. What is that? You should listen to that. Yeah, other people being self-absorbed. Yeah. Why is it only making you angry right now? If it's people that are around you all the time. You should always listen to that. If you don't want to be with self-absorbed people, then you shouldn't. If you're realizing that somebody is self-absorbed that is normally not like that, then you should go in with softness and ask, hey, are you okay? Is there anything you need to talk about, or is there anything that you need right now? Is there anything I can do, to help you right now? Instead of, blaming them or projecting, your doubts onto them. Yeah, so there's many, many implications to being able or staying in that place where you can feel who you are, regardless of the content of your thoughts, the content of your emotions, or how your body feels. Regardless, sometimes we need to be able to know the difference. I see a lot of people who are, when they're tired or hungry, myself included, and I'm wearing a hat, all right, that become, abrasive, or maybe, a little harsh in their expressions, in their words. If that happens to you, then, and you take care of yourself, you eat something or you sleep, and you realize that you were a little harsh, you go back and say, hey, sorry that I sounded this way earlier. I was really, really hungry. I needed to take care of my own needs first. Yeah, but I see this a lot when people get, a little sick, or they have physical needs that are not met, that they start projecting it onto other people. And this is then how this whole sort of resentment, jealousy, anger, or even hatred or self-doubt, how that starts. So pay more attention to your needs, especially those that are not met. So, Emer, if this is something that you can observe, or Mandy, if this is something that you observe with others, it's always great to start with what we can observe in others. It's a mirror for us. So we observe something in others. Mandy, you don't like it when people are self-absorbed. Emer, you don't like it when people are, jealous or comparing or something like that. Okay, then ask yourself, all right, how does that relate to me? Why is that getting to me right now? Is there a need that I have that is not being met right now? That this, whatever energy it is that is coming in from the outside, is getting to me more now than when I am in a peaceful place? What unmet need, what need do I have that is not met right now? Is that something that you guys can do? Is anybody here who has had an experience where that kind of consideration actually changed something for you, helped you to get out of this negative place?
Oh, Jona, I was gonna ask the opposite. I
Okay,
get stuck.
go
I
ahead.
get stuck. I get stuck in that place, and I feel like I get frustrated because, just watching people that are not that close to me, but just in the public general space, and the work that I do, and I guess I get frustrated seeing how people aren't able to put others first or be considerate, and I know that it's probably a trigger for me, a mirror for me of myself as well, but I can't just turn a blind eye and just keep ignoring it, and it's almost like you just keep condoning that behavior of others in a way. And I find it really hard because then I can't bring it back to regulating myself and coming back to my heart space, and I just cascade from there, and then it's really hard to get back to a calm and a regulated place again.
So there's two things I think that are going on in those moments, Mandy. One is the mirror of you watching others being selfish or self-absorbed and not putting others first informs you about your own values. Yeah, it's a positive reflection for you because it shows you something about yourself, namely that you think it's important to put other people first within the scope or the framework of the work that you're doing, right? That's a simple reframing here, okay? You get upset when others don't do that because you think that that's something that one should do. And that is something that you stand for, correct?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And you get frustrated because they don't. Okay. How can you get out of that?
Well, I'll just let it go because you can't control other people's behavior.
Yeah, and focus on you. Okay. And see the virtue in that, see the beauty in that, see the power in that you do that. Now, unless there's something else there, maybe that they're more successful than you, or that they're making more money than you, or that people believe them more than you, or something like that, then that needs to be investigated.
Oh, no, I think it's more in a just disregard for others, where people are becoming more and more self-centered, and it's all about, everyone's just out for themselves, and the sense of kind of community and care and consideration just seems to be getting less and less, and no one's doing anything to change it. And like, well, not change it, but no, I can't put it into words. It always comes out wrong.
No, I think we're all understanding exactly what you're talking about, Mandy. So the frustration is that nobody does anything about it. Again, I see a beautiful guidance from your own true self here. Do something about it. If you think that it is important, if it's a value of yours, I happen to agree with this, okay, then try something to bring that into expression. If you're already trying it and it's not really being heard or seen, then try other ways. Do you know what I mean? If you think that that is what it should be about, then represent, embody that. I think the word embodying, we're integrating, was the word that you were looking for earlier. Yeah, instead of pointing fingers and saying, oh, they're not doing anything about it. Well, it doesn't matter what they do. Like you said, you can't control what other people think or do. If clearly it's not what they want to do, it's not what their value is, they're not going to do it. But it's yours. So if it's yours, then make it yours and say, I value that. I represent that. That is who I am now. And that is what I do. So sometimes, when something rubs us the wrong way, it really just is about us recognizing what this is showing us about ourselves. And sometimes there is a bit of a confusion, or maybe also something that we don't want to admit to ourselves, where we're not fully in truth with ourselves. And then our system responds to it with friction, with resistance. Yeah, we get so frustrated about others not doing it that we're telling ourselves, now I'm not doing it either. Something along those ways. That's then the lie. That's then where we are not in truth with ourselves. I fully understand your frustration, Mandy. But I also, when I get into that place, realize how important these things are to me. Yeah, and how I really try to, in my life, and I say try to, yeah, because I know that I'm not always in that place, but I really try to embody this value that I have that helps people to find the good and the beautiful in this world. Yeah, the good and the true and the beautiful in this world. That's what I believe in, and that is who I am. It's organic in me. I don't have to think it. Do you know what I mean? It will always shine through. I get frustrated at times, but it will still be there. And when I get frustrated, then I will push the reset button and remind myself why I'm doing all of this, what it means to me, and how that is really who I am. Now, the problem arises, and this is, the aspect with shadow, is when we're trying to be something that we're not. That's when we can get in trouble with ourselves. Yeah, when we are idealizing ourselves, or when we have a hard time, getting along with what we perceive as our own imperfections. So when we get into that place where all we can feel is, how we're actually not living up to something, or, how maybe other people project to us that we're not good enough, something along those lines, then we need to go even more inward, because it means that we've lost the connection with who we truly are. Who you truly are is something unchanging, guys. It is not affected by weather conditions, by what other people say or other people do. That's the meaning of true self. It's eternal and unchanging. So during the session, there was a lot of that resistance that we just talked about. And this resistance mostly came from having been distracted so much into the external that we could no longer feel who we truly are. And when you find yourself in that place, guys, yeah, then it's pretty simple. You need to stop whatever it is that you're thinking, that you're doing, that you're focusing on. Reset, yeah, and find that pathway again. For most of us, through the body, guys, through deep breathing. That's the fastest way. Just take a super deep breath, perhaps even with a sigh, like, and doing a little sort of surface clearing. Okay, and then taking deep breaths, until you feel certain warmth going through your body, or a pulse, or something that feels familiar. Yeah, and then stay there for a while until you can feel safe with yourself again. And then the retaining that you guys talked about as being the hardest part, then make sure that you don't judge things, don't act on things just based on those lower vibratory states. So the thing with anger is so confusing for most of you that you try to not feel it altogether, but this doesn't work, guys. If you want to feel your true self, if you want to connect with your true self, you need to be willing to feel all of it. If you shut down certain parts of you Yeah, you don't say you don't approve of being angry or feeling sad. All right, then you're shutting down parts of the range of what you sense, what you feel, and that then shuts down the connection with your true self. So my overall tip for you guys is shift your focus. Shift your focus to all that is good, that is beautiful, that is true in this world for you. Ask yourself, what makes all this worth it? What has meaning to me? What is truly important to me? And when contemplating all these negative thoughts or feelings, ask yourself, is it really worth it? Is it really worth it for me to get pulled into this or to get sick over this or, to degrade myself by lashing out? Is it really worth my attention? Because wherever your attention goes, that is where your energy goes. Okay? So that's the teaching of this true self session, guys. Stay with yourself. Stay with what is important to you, what has meaning to you, who you truly are, what you represent in this world. Okay? Not how other people see you, not, it doesn't matter if other people think it's worthwhile or not. You can't work against your true self. If you do, you're highly conflicted and in constant schisms. You get caught in the duality of your being. And when you're caught in your duality, you can no longer discern truth from untruth, dark from light. You don't always have to be able to identify what state you're in, guys, but I can tell you one thing for sure. If you get caught in thinking or feeling or acting that is solely based on fear or anger, that means you're not in truth. If you cannot muster compassion, if you cannot muster sort of a certain base level of neutrality, you're not in truth. You simply aren't. So anything that crosses your mind, anything that you're feeling, comes from somewhere else, but not from truth. And so it also comes that, in times like this, dark forces, can work through us, easily. We're like sitting ducks if we are lost somewhere outside of ourselves. We're like sitting ducks. The way darkness works through you is through getting you stuck in fear and self-doubt and shame and anger and frustration and jealousy. That is how darkness works through you. That said, having those emotions as emotions is okay. But acting on them and allowing them to basically define who you are, that's a trap. That is pulling you into darkness. So all you got to ask yourself is, do I really want to be in fear and anger, or do I want to just simply accept that I have these emotions and investigate them and work with them, face them? In the energy forecast for this month, guys, I wrote about facing change. This is so, so important that you understand that. It's not about being perfect in all ways. It's about being willing to face what comes your way, all right? And to work with it. Right now, what is coming our way is uncertainty, and a lot of distraction, and that will pull you into your own inner darkness if you're not careful. So make that a priority. That's what I mean with shift your focus. Make it a priority. Do not get pulled into it while allowing it. Say, oh, okay, I can feel a lot of anger coming up in me right now. Whoa. I can feel a lot of anger come up in other people too. Whoa. That's all right. So what can I do with that? Oh, maybe I need to walk that off. Or maybe I need to take a time out. Or maybe I need to have a conversation. Or maybe whatever the need is, I need to make sure that I have all my needs met. And if I project my needs to other people and they don't give me what I need, then I need to reconsider if that's even okay to expect others to meet my needs. If you're in a relationship where you're not feeling safe, emotionally or physically or whatever, all right, and there's a track record of you not feeling safe, yeah, let's say you're in a relationship where this has been going on for years, where you can never actually feel safe with your partner. That's not your partner's fault, guys. Your partner isn't causing this. What is causing this is you staying in such a relationship. Have you not feeling safe at your work, all right, for whatever reasons, because of your coworkers or your boss or whatever, doing this and this or that, then they're not causing this. What causing you not feeling safe or you feeling drained from your work is you staying in a workplace like that. And if you feel that other people are judging you or, bickering or lying to you or whatever it is that you feel that they are doing that frustrates you, then ask yourself, are they really causing it or is it me not facing it? Hey, is there anything you would like to share with me? Is there anything that you need to discuss or, whatever? It's so easy to say instead of assuming that you know what they're thinking. Especially empaths, very, very prone to that mind reader disease where you always think that you know what the others are thinking. And don't do that. Refocus on who you are and what you do. This month, it's all about you stepping into who you truly are and manifesting from that place, not something out there or something idealized or what other people expect from you. Anything that comes out of you organically, yeah, anything that comes from you because of who you are, not what you do, but because of who you are, is extremely supported this month. So Mandy, if you are somebody who believes that in this work field that you are, it's important to, foster and cultivate community and the greater good for all involved, then that is what you should focus on. That's what this doubt or frustration that you're feeling is telling you. Yeah, if this is truly who you are, then allow yourself to be that. I've come across a lot of these impulses where people don't give themselves permission to do what it actually is that they want to do or want to represent in this life. That is not caused by anything outside of you guys. That is you not allowing yourself to be. So yeah, so again, this is the big lesson here for this month's Connect with Your True Self session. If there are other experiences, other comments, anything that you would like to share, wait till I uploaded the recording to YouTube and comment there or ask questions. Yeah, I always respond this way. We can stay in touch with the subjects that we that we came across in the session. So don't doubt yourself, guys. Shift your focus back to what is true, what is good, and what is beautiful in you. Thank you so much for coming, especially for those of you who are here live and who shared. I love you guys, and I see you again soon.